For the love of rugby, brought to you by Black Heart. There is a new stout in town, thanks to BrewDog. Coley, how are you?
Good, thank you, Ben. How are you?
I'm very well. I've got some burning eyes to my left, haven't I?
I know. That's what I'm... It's not about us today.
It's about one man.
Yeah, and one man only.
I think you should intro.
Here's the recently retired Joe Marler and his guide to retirement. Right. We should really have people clapping in the background, shouldn't we? That'd be good.
Sid as if nothing.
No, not to fucking... Oh, no, don't.
Yeah.
How are you, Joe?
Yeah, I'm great. Yeah. Honestly, I'm so excited to be here again. I've missed you too.
Oh, I missed you too, mate.
Honestly, when was the last time we did one?
You just had your...
I just said what?
You had the snip. How was everything?
Oh yeah, I didn't get round to doing it in the end.
I thought you had it. You
No.
had it booked in?
Yeah, I had it booked in, didn't turn up. And then I got an email from a really angry receptionist saying you were due to come in for a vasectomy and you didn't turn up because I'd forgotten about it. Forgotten about it on purpose, basically. I was too scared because I want to keep my options open.
Is Daisy aware of this? Is she, have you informed her yet that you didn't turn up for it or not?
Well, yeah, of course I did.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And she's turned around and said, well, that means things that we used to do are not now going to be happening until you get it done. And I went, cool. Apart me,
Right. Apart from that, but how is now you've stopped?
how's
Right.
my body?
How is your body?
It's fucking heavy.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm the heaviest I've been. I was on the scales last night. It was 130. Don't look me up and down like that, Coley.
I'm just thinking, where have you put it, Joe? That big baggy T-shirt.
I haven't run since before the Bristol game because I didn't run in the Bristol game either, which was my last one. Just plodded about the bit.
Quick question on that game.
Yeah.
Were you impressed by the tap move Bristol did on the goal?
Oh, it was genius. When they did the tap move and they scored, and you sort of got picked up on camera, you're like, phew, not seen that one before, fair play. And then at that moment, you got sucked off anyway.
You literally walked past it, like, the viewer who ever scored it with it, you walked past it, it was like, yeah.
That was it. I went, fair play.
That's a good one, man.
I had only been bugging the Quins coaches who profess to be the leaders of entertainment rugby and coming up with different innovative moves. I was like, well, where the fuck are our tap plays? Everyone else is doing one. They're like, oh, why don't you come up with one? And I did. I came up with one and I named it Kaboom, and it didn't make the cut. They were like, that's shit.
Right.
Didn't work. So then when I saw them do a similar
They did
move,
Kaboom, did they?
they did Kaboom Boom.
And it bamboozled you.
And I just went, even if I had read it and was in a position to make a tackle, the mindset I was at of not wanting to be there in the first place, I wouldn't have bothered anyway.
Right.
Wow. That's a type of exclusives we get from you.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have bothered. Mate, I didn't want to play the game. Like, they were like, do you want to play? I'd already retired the week before.
How did your retirement come about? We'll pull it back a bit. So, because you retired from England first,
Yeah.
when you we did a training week, didn't we? You went home.
We were in Girona.
Yes.
And I remember sitting there at the end of the week.
I remember,
it was lovely in the sun.
Thursday or Friday with the final session of me, and you basically clunked your ankle or your foot in the gym,
Yeah.
and you were like, I think I can scrummage or run about, but I can't do both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we did it all.
Yeah.
Sat there on the step in the lovely sun in Girona, blowing out my arse and just looking out. It was a really nice moment. And then looking at all the young boys around, except you, and going, well, that's it then. The game's definitely passed me by. I can't keep up with these fuckers anymore. I can't physically keep up with them. And mentally, I just didn't have the drive to try anymore. And I went, yeah, I think that's done. And then when we met up for the New Zealand week, wasn't it, on the Sunday night?
Yeah.
And I made my mind up prior to that, and I thought, look, I owe Steve the respect to say it to him in person, face to face. So I cracked on down to Penny Hill, turned up just in the nick of time for the team meeting. And as I walked in, everyone's in their England kit, ready to go for the setting the tone of the New Zealand week. And I was in, as Elliot described, he said, "Have you been duck shooting, have you?" And I went, "I don't even know what that is." He was like, "You look like something from Duck Dynasty." I had this camo type jacket on, shorts, bit of a hillbilly cap on. It's like, "What the fuck have you come as?" And everyone else is in their kit. And I could see Steve look across the room like, "Hello," and then just sit down.
Had you given him any heads up? Had you said, like, I need to catch up with you?
No, there was no heads up yet.
No, you did.
I just get there and then did the set the tone meeting. And then I said to him after, I said, "Oh, is it okay if I have a catch up with you in the bar?" And he was like, "Yeah, of course." Went down, had a catch up and went, "I'm done, mate." And he was like, "What, like done? I was like, "Yeah, done." He was like, "Right, okay. I'll be honest with you, mate. I didn't think I'd be having this conversation with you first." I was like, "What do you mean?" He said, "I thought I'd be having this conversation with Coley before I was having it with you."
Is this the first time you heard of this, Coley?
No, I know about it, yeah.
Again, another exclusive.
There we go.
Yeah.
And then we just talked it through. And
Did he try and sort of convince, like, did he sort of try and, because last time we chatted, you on 95 caps, you spoke about the desire to maybe get to 100 and all these things.
Yeah, but
was it very much, because once you've made up your mind, you are, although you have retired 17 times, often once you made up your mind of things, did he try and say, look, or was it very respectful in terms of, okay, mate?
He did. Just on that 95 caps thing, it was never a thing of my milestones that aren't, they've never interested me.
You just wanted to beat Tim Payne, wasn't it?
I just wanted to beat Tim Payne's cap record. That was all of it, which was 26. So as soon as I hit 27, I pretty much gave up then anyway. Do you know what I mean? The next 70-odd, there's no point. But milestone's not really a big thing until you get to within a few caps of doing it. And then you sort of do semi-think about it. You're like, 100 caps would be a nice round number to finish off on. And, you know, you look at the hurrahs that a lot of our former teammates have got. Danny Care's big hurrah that lasted, 6 months?
Still going now.
Still going now.
Yeah.
And then I go, actually, I wouldn't want any of that whatsoever. I just want to just slip away into the night or day and leave the sport.
Is that why you put that tweet about the hacker out that week?
Oh my God, I forgot about that. So
Just want to slip away.
So you've told Steve in the bar.
With this bombshell.
So I've told Steve in the bar. He
then
did, with that, Steve did say, look, you've obviously put a lot of thought into it. I respect your decision. I would have loved you if I wanted you to make it to the next World Cup. And I laughed. Steve,
he's not being serious.
like Women's World
Steve,
Cup.
surely there was a long pause.
You can make it to the Women's World Cup,
Steve,
which allows us the summer.
That's
you're
saying that
Steve, you are having a laugh, mate.
Yeah, like, are you telling me what
he's
you think
not
I
one
want
to
to hear?
usually crack jokes like that,
Yeah,
but you know,
that was a good one.
I thought that was a good one.
Yeah.
It was he went, "No, I'm very serious. I wanted you to play that Dan Cole role that he played in the 2023 World Cup, where he played one game, rested for 6, and then came back for the semi-final." And went, "Fucking hell, mate!"
Only the other week we were mentioning, right, how people see Coley's greatest performance in the 23 semi-final, which was a great performance, right?
Yeah,
but when we
a second greatest performance, I think.
But when we looked at the data, Coley's like, "I think I made 2 tackles.
I didn't make a tackle. I didn't make a tackle. I didn't carry a ball. Didn't make a tackle.
Wasn't about that game.
I think you carried the ball. Like
it was about vengeance.
It was about you boys did
It was about vengeance for me and Coley after 2019, and we didn't say it publicly, but it was about fuck this, because of what those fuckers did in 2019. We were like, look, here's our moment. They're bigging themselves up. Let's do it. And we did for 55, 60 minutes. And then me and Coley got dragged off because as much as we've been doing scrummaging, Steve had really noticed that we were literally doing nothing else around the pitch. And then because we were knackered, we were becoming liabilities in defence. So fair enough, right call to bring us off, and it was fine. And that was a lovely moment where we came off, me and Coley sit down on the bench, and he tapped me on my knee, and it was like,
one of my favourites is like we had a hug on the sideline and George Martin's just awkwardly standing next to us.
Did he? Well, he is friends with Marler because he's friends with you. Did he just
correct,
for a second want to just?
Well, I think he wanted to come in on it. We were like, fuck off, George. Like, you're literally not part of this. And you stink. You really do stink. You've really lacked the use of deodorant today.
No,
hang on. The Steve point.
Okay,
it was a long-winded, but Steve did turn around and go, what about one more game? And I went, what do you mean? He went, my plan was to roll you and Coley out against South Africa, which was it the third game?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I went, oh, fucking hell, Steve. You can't tell that to me now. Like, one more game, like, to do that. And he was like,
Little carrot.
fancy it. And I went,
Did you say, hang on, I've just got to do a tweet and then I'm going to come back to you?
I went, no, mate. I said, what's one more game? Like, it won't eclipse all the memories, good and bad, that I'd had before in the shirt. And I knew that I wasn't capable of performing in an England shirt anymore, both physically and mentally. So it was like, I can't roll out against South Africa. I just thought that was it.
But obviously that's a massive part of our lives has been playing for England, hasn't it? And then driving away that final time, because I can't imagine you really going back there. I certainly wouldn't be going out there. Do you know what I mean? Because you get associated with work, right?
Well,
but
you
driving
say
away
that,
for the
Ben.
first time, though, it must have been like, how was that moment, that drive back home, that having the conversation? I know you went and saw Coley as well, didn't you?
Yeah, Steve said, have you told Coley yet?
Yes.
And I went, no, I'm going to go speak to him. And he went, oh, God, I'm not sure he'll be happy. And I went, oh, okay. I'll still go speak to him. So then I did, and me and Coley had a heart-to-heart, and I was in there for a good hour and a half explaining it all. And he understood. And it was sad. I was more sad about doing that. But as soon as I then...
Well, we then went next door, didn't we?
We then went...
There's a group of us like where sometimes meet in the evening and might eat high protein biscuits and stuff. And he walks in and he goes, I'm done. And they're like, again, is it? And it's like, no, I am. It's like, no, you're
Boy
not.
who cried wolf. It's like,
no,
nah,
I
yeah,
am.
nice one.
I'm done. It's
Have
like,
a
really?
biscuit, you'll be fine.
Of course you
Yeah.
are. And then he walked, instead of going to Roots left, went right out the thing. It was like, is he actually going? It's like, yeah. It's like, all right. It was just a bit random, wasn't it?
And then
It was a bit random.
And then once you obviously, in all seriousness, once you drive away and all that, what was that feeling like?
Relief.
Yeah? Just pleased that it's done.
Just relief that the decision had been made, that had been on my mind for a good 4 or 5 months since I broke my foot in the summer, and then had basically 4 months at home with the kids being normal, like as in being normal with them. Obviously not, I do struggle with being normal in general, but just living that and giving them so much time and being there for Daisy a lot, which I hadn't been, and it was kind of like, fuck, this is great. I can do this. I want to give them more time now, and they're all at ages that are A, bonkers, but B, needing like a male figure in their life now, more consistently, especially my eldest two, Jasper and Maggie. Jasper is a fucking gobshite and really pushing everyone's buttons at the minute. So I've got to try and work out how to not find it funny, and also recognise that he's doing that mainly because he's copied me a lot, and then work through that. And then Maggie as well. She needs a bit more of a father figure in her life more consistently, and that's it. And I haven't looked back, really.
Well, you went back to, that was international, you went to Quins. didn't
Oh,
you?
shit, yeah.
Was Quins easier than England?
Yeah, Quins was easy in England because I still had people at England that I was close with that and willing to go to the well for, and knew that they would go to the well for me. And and because it's the elite, isn't it? It's that environment. Whereas the club, the direction the club was going in wasn't necessarily one that I agreed with. And I didn't have those connections with a lot of the squad, mainly because of my fault.
Yeah.
You know, you get older now and you just can't be bothered to make the effort. I mean, what am I doing with my life? Why am I bothering doing this? Just for the money? Is it just for the easy fucking money to turn up? And I was like, I've turned into that piece of shit that I always looked up to as, oh my God, who's this poisonous twat that just wants to take the money and not actually commit to it? And I was like, oh no, I can't do this. So I drove in, trying with a bit of positivity, and these line-outs started going on. I fucked up a couple of line-outs. I think I fucked up one where I tripped over the mat. It was indoors, and then just nosedived into Ernie Herbst in the second row, and he stacked it forward and did his ankle, and I just started giggling. He was livid, and I went, I'm done. And I stood there, looked around for about 5-10 minutes. Don Brandt turned around and was like, you all right, mate? I went, no, I'm done. And he went, what? And then I just went and got my jacket and walked out. And all the boys were like, what's happened here? Went to the van. Adam Jones came out and he said, you all right, mate? I said, yeah, I'm done, mate. I can't do it. And he went, what, done? I went, yeah, I'm done. And that was it.
No, you came to Penny Hill Park, didn't you, and played five-a-side football with the staff?
Mate, what's this?
What do you mean, what's this?
Yeah, fair enough.
Talk through what you did.
I had to come and collect a load of kit.
Yeah.
Because I'd left it at Penny Hill because I'd left quite early.
Lifting belts and stuff like that.
Lifting belts and stuff. So I came in, and as I came in, they were going to do star football. You know how they used to play star football a lot? And then I was like, oh, fuck it, I've got my boots. Can I play star football? So it was like, what does this come to? I'm now a member of staff at the RFU. So technically, you're boss, Coley. Don't worry about it.
Perfect.
What's the logistics of retirement, like the admin stuff?
What do you mean logistics?
Well, like you're obviously still under contract. Like logistics of it, like is it just like?
Oh yeah.
How does it all work? Just asking for a mate.
Logistics. I think it was a week before payday that I'd made the call.
That's why he played the final game.
Not that he hates the bloke he's turned into, just playing for the money.
I didn't want to be that guy. I didn't want to be that guy.
Let's take the final paycheck.
Let's be like, hang on a minute.
Hang on a minute.
When do we play Bristol? Do you know what? I'll give it one more
You
go.
know,
I'll give it one more go.
I hate that bloke.
Shit, that tap mood's good.
That starts
Anyway,
next
I'll
week.
get paid.
Yeah, cool.
The Bristol game was on the 29th. Payday was on the 28th.
So they owe you for next month as well, do they? Is that what you're saying?
I did ask that question. I said, are we paid ahead or are we paid behind? Like that. And it's probably a conversation around, well, can you play for that one? Because, you know, sort out your last paycheck as well. I was like, okay. And also Finn Baxter's going to come back from England and we'd quite like to look after him and rest him. And I was like, no.
I'll have his week's wage as well.
I'll have his week. I said no, and they're like, "What do you mean?" And they're like, "It'd be really good for you to, you know, have a send off with the fans and for Daisy and the kids to come and have a send off and all that lot." I was like, "What do you mean good? They're not asked." But the club were like, "Yeah, it would be easier for us if you came and just said goodbye to the fans and did all that stuff." Because they have been a big part of your career and it's a nice way to do it. And I was like, okay, if that's what you want. Like, I've got no interest in playing though. And do you really want to put someone out that doesn't really want to play when you're trying to get a win in the Premiership and stuff like that? So like, yeah, if you can, it would be really good. It'd be a really good emotional driver for the squad. I went, no, it fucking won't. There's 4 blokes in the squad left that I actually get on with that I haven't pissed off or upset along the way. So the others couldn't give a shit. They want me to quit immediately, and that was it. So I did the Bristol game just to please them, said goodbye to the fans, and then buggered off.
Are you happy you did the Bristol game though?
Mate, did you see how bad I was?
Yeah, but like, yeah.
I mean, you weren't great.
Yeah.
No.
But no one was really great for Quins that day.
No, but
Bristol can do that.
Mate, we played the other week.
Teams,
Bristol,
mate. It's
on
fine.
their day, they are very good.
Yeah, very good.
They can really tear you apart.
Am I glad I played the Bristol game? Not really.
But for the reception you got from the fans, you don't regret walking around the field. I think you would not regret more just disappearing than you would have actually having one final time say thank you to everyone. And because the fans do turn up and pay our wages technically. So actually, do you not regret, but are you happy you did that final game as opposed to just disappearing? Because some people don't get that choice, do they?
No, they don't. And yeah, if you put it like that, yeah, I was privileged to be able to do that. But I don't know. I did have to, mate, the connection with the fans improved massively post-COVID. Because when we were playing during COVID in the empty stadiums, we were all sitting there going, oh, we're privileged to still be doing our job and getting paid and all this lot. But it was soulless and it was shit. And it made me realise, I was like, actually, I do play the game a lot for the fans and the interaction and the adrenaline you get from that.
We'll play anywhere. Like, we'll play on the park. I play rugby because I love playing rugby, playing against teams, like play on the car park, play on the field. I don't care. Like, if no one's there, no one watches. I love doing it. And then that gets taken away from you with the COVID and you're like, it's pretty crap, really. You're not playing in front of people, is it? Like, then you actually get people turning up and you appreciate the people and say the people actually pay their wage, can watch you play and give their time to watch you play. And like, you do appreciate that a lot more, I think, post-COVID than ever did before. Not took it for granted, but you definitely...
No, I definitely did. I sort of then fell in love with the fans and in what they gave me. And then also having kids, especially Jasper and the way he looks at football. Yeah. And you go, if he ever got the chance to meet any of his football idols or like local Brighton players, he's like amazed, like, oh, amazing, this is great. And it's kind of like, well, if I can do that, even though it feels uncomfortable, if I can do that for anything, do you know, that's what it made me feel. And so it was nice to do that to the fans and have that last thing. But fuck, I was hanging out my arse. Honestly, Daisy and the kids were there before running out, so just coming in from the warm-up. And I spotted them. I was like, I was right. And she was like, are you all right? And I went, what do you mean? She's like, you're like dripping with sweat and we've been watching you and you haven't even run. This is the warm-up. And I was like, yeah, this could be a long evening.
You see why I made the call now, love?
Yeah. You made the call. So that was it, yeah.
Joe, we've got to do an ad. Yes, Thriva are our new partners of the pod.
Yes, our official home blood test partners.
That's the one.
Thriva is a personalised health service that lets you listen to your blood and get clear guidance on how to improve your health.
If you go to their website on our episode description, you can get 20% off your first blood test. Just use the code LOVEOFRUGBY.
We did ours at the start of the year. Thriva have got a new auto draw device that's really simple to use and we'll be getting our results in a couple of weeks' time.
Very simple to use. But Coley, why should we test our blood?
Well, Ben, there are plenty of reasons why we should test our blood. One, to make sure our energy levels are optimised for our sports performance and our daily lifestyles. We can also make informed choices about what we put into our bodies, e.g. our lifestyle choices. And thirdly, if there's any health issues that we might have, we can see into the future and try and negate those problems.
Thriva will give you personalised health insights and give you the details of what's actually going on in your body.
Not just trends or fads that they're found on the internet. Thriva will send you an easy blood test to do at home, which you'll then pop in the post and send off to the specialist.
Results will come via the Thriva app, and it is a full, detailed written report from the Thriva doctors.
Go to the link, it's in our episode description.
And you can get 20% off your first blood test. Just use the code LOVEOFRUGBY.
Right, so you're sponsored by a home blood test subscription service and a stout.
Yeah, we're just normal, relatable guys, mate, who can't enjoy a stout and also get a blood test to check on their health.
Right, so you managed to get the Thriva deal sorted yourselves. How did you get the BrewDog deal sorted?
A gift from the gods, Joe.
Well, I've never been referred to as a god, but you're most welcome. They obviously sponsored my show with the Punk IPA. And then I went, hey, you listen here now. Hey, BrewDog, you listen to me right now. I've got a show that you should sponsor too. And they are wonderful humans with a great podcast. And they said, oh, who? who is that, Joe? Tell us immediately, if not sooner. And I went, it's for the love of rugby.
I thought you were going to say Jimmy Bullard.
Also sponsored by BrewDog. So you're welcome.
Thank you, mate.
I'm glad we can do this. I think we've got something good going on with BrewDog.
Well, it's part of our new BrewDog partnership, and thanks to yourself, Joe.
All right, crawl out.
We're hosting a quiz night on Monday, the 20th of January, and you can play in your local BrewDog bar.
Ooh la la!
It'll be a Six Nations quiz. I'm writing the questions, and it's going to be on in 40 BrewDog bars across the country. If you want more information, go on our socials at Love of Rugby.
Well, why don't I just ask you?
Well, we can tell you. Anthony Watson and I will be there at the BrewDog bar in Waterloo in London.
That's my nearest one.
We need a prize.
Could maybe give an England shirt signed away. Some tickets, maybe. We'll figure it out, but there'll be a prize.
For the Love of Rugby, the first ever quiz night is on Monday the 20th of January at your local BrewDog bar. The quiz starts from 7. Joe, you've got a new job.
I am the performance director of Team England Rugby, also known as TER Limited.
As performance director, what does your role involve?
My role involves representing the England men's team in negotiations between the RFU and clubs, keeping on top of the match game limits that have been reduced to 30 this season, which we're predicting are going to be exceeded by pretty much every member of the EPS squad, because it's been reduced from 35 games to 30 games, but not 30 whole games. It's just 30 match involvements.
It used to be 35 times 80 minutes, didn't it?
35, 80 minutes to 30 match involvements. You only have to play 1 minute to constitute a match involvement. So it's going to get a bit tricky. So it's about keeping on top of that. It's about keeping on top of the EPS squad, seeing how they're getting on, seeing how we can support them in the welfare issues, in rest periods, in the welfare and well-being of each player during campaigns. And also a really, really good excuse for me to still have the ability to come into camp and sit and eat biscuits with you, Dan.
Have you been building a relationship with the DORs? Are you having to? How are you going about your role when it comes to player negotiations? Are you building a relationship with DORs or
that
clubs?
Is part of it. It's about building up those relationships in terms of when it comes to the end of campaigns and people have hit the thresholds that require them to have a rest within 3 weeks. It's about taking the pressure away from the player of having to have those conversations. You guys are more than capable of having those conversations with the DORs because you're long in the tooth, that you're confident enough to go to him and say, look, mate, I'm not feeling great. I need a bit of a rest, need to freshen up. But there's loads of boys in that squad that are young that would be too scared almost to go and speak to the DORs and say, oh, I'm feeling tired, without them being judged on, oh, you're soft, or actually we pay your wages, get on with it, and all this sort of thing. So taking that away. My first experience so far is with Mark McCall, trying to negotiate Nick Ezekwe's rest period after the autumn internationals, which was hilarious, going from playing against him for a number of years to now I'm sitting on the phone going through the PGP and all the regulations of rest periods with him. And I think he didn't quite realise that it was me he was talking to until after, when Jamie or some of the Sarries boys were like, he couldn't get his head round that he was talking to this prat.
I think there's probably a few that
had been a clown for, I'd say, 95% of his career, and now he's doing a role with a title of performance director of Team England Rugby. Although it sounds posh and official, it is basically just having the back, or it's basically having the backs of the England Rugby team and doing a lot of the work for them, admin work, conversations between DOR, clubs and RFU to make sure that they feel supported in decisions from operations or welfare if there's injuries, and with the new enhanced contracts that they're being consulted on things, it's being done in the right way, because it's all still new with these new enhanced contracts, so we're still learning and working our way through it and just trying to get as much feedback from them boys as much as possible.
If you're managing guys like potential guys that are going to go on the Lions, what happens if they've hit their quota and they're picked to go on the first test, and it'll mean 31 games?
Yeah, well, you've had this, Cole, haven't you? Back in the day, did you play one season, was it 42 games? Was it in the 2013
like that,
Lions year?
Yeah.
You played 42 games.
I was involved in 42 or something around that, yeah.
Okay, you're involved in 42 games, which is absolutely bonkers. Because especially that year, it's very different to this year for you. That year, you would have been playing, on average, 75 to 80 minutes a game. Whereas this year, you're looking at 7 to 8 minutes a game.
It's actually 18 minutes average, with the occasional try scoring.
So you could argue he's having more of an impact on games now than he did back then.
2.7% try scoring ratio. So he's having an impact, all right.
What do you mean 2.7% try scoring ratio?
Out of 508 games, was it? That's
right,
basically what we worked out.
But back to your question of boys going over their game limits, it's at 30 game involvements. We're predicting from the start, when we first set up, that there's going to have to be so many exemptions going into it, especially for the top players who are consistently playing for England, consistently get into the playoff positions for their clubs, whether it's in Europe or in the Prem. They're definitely going to go over the limit. So then it has to come to an exemption process where it's a combination of you've got representative from PRL, RFU, RPA, TER, and then an independent chair that it goes to, and you sort of have to apply for exemption for this player to go over the limit. And it's yes or no. So you could turn around and say, no, you can't play in the Champions Cup final. Sorry, mate, you've gone over the limit. The likelihood is that's not going to happen. But it's them trying to work out, yes, let's get the exemption, keep an eye on all the minutes, keep an eye on all the welfare and the wellness of these players. What difference can we then make in the following season from them, rather than going straight back into a season after going over by 6 or 7 games? Actually, can we delay? Can we stop them playing any pre-season games? Can we give them a longer rest period? Can we stop them being involved in the first 2 or 3? So it's all new, and we're all learning as we go. But it's about, for us, being there for the players, supporting them as much as we can, and make sure that they're looked after as much as possible, so that they can actually perform consistently and have longevity in their careers. Because, well, we all know that how short they can be.
When you say you go to arbitration over it with 5 people, is that going to be like on a per game basis? Will it just be, say if you've got the playoffs and the tour afterwards, will it just be, look, this player is going to get 30 games, might play 1 game, might play 5 games, might play 10 games more?
I've got all the games that they've played, the minutes that they've played, keep an eye on it, and then the prediction of, well, they're going to play another 10 games by this date. We need to get ahead of this beforehand. We need to talk to the clubs, talk to Steve in the RFU of, like, what's the plan? Are you looking to play them in all of these games? Have you had conversations about actually resting them for this one, so that they don't go over the limit, or go over the limit as least as possible, and just trying to manage it like that. I get what happened with reducing it from 35 games to 30 match involvements, because there are too many games, like just constantly too many games that boys are playing. But I'm interested to know how we got from 35 full game involvements to 30 match involvements that could be a minute, because you could play 30 games. You could hit the threshold and have only played 2 minutes each game, which constitutes
hour of rugby.
There you go. Fucking hell, he's sharp. He's always on the fucking ball. Do you know what I mean? For me, it's an interesting role to be involved in. Because you two are both looking at me like, I can see it in your eyes, lads. I can see straight through you. You both look at me like, how the fuck has this prat got involved in a relatively serious job.
No, I'm not.
No.
Yes, you
We
are.
know you. We know you.
so.
We know that you've
Yeah.
always got fingers in pies and you're always doing stuff.
And
that-
actually, we know that actually you would actually be the perfect candidate to do it because
'cause I
you'll
actually
stand up
care.
for what you believe in,
Yeah.
and you will, and
And
you're not prepared, and you're not worried about upsetting people along the way because I know that you'll do a great job.
No,
of
but not
representing lads.
upsetting people just for the sake
No,
of
no,
upsetting them.
because
It's
you-
upsetting
you've
them.
done it, mate.
The
You've-
boys need to be looked after for a long period of time.
They do.
We weren't looked after with our previous representation. So we went, right, we're setting this Team England rugby up. We're moving away from the previous representation and we are going to take control of it. We are going to actually represent ourselves, look after the boys, because who better to understand what it's like, how hard it is being an England rugby player and the environment and the toll that it can take on you than the boys that have actually been involved in there. So we're there and we're trying to build really good relationships. I've got a good relationship with Steve. I'm trying to work on the ones with the DORs. I can't wait to get round to a conversation with Steve Diamond. That'll be one of my favourites. And Alex Sanderson, that'll be another one really, really good. I might have to put on a voice and pretend that I'm someone else. Like, hello?
What are you doing to keep fit?
What'd you point at me for?
Because I'm just, you love the gym. Have you been lifting the gym? Have you been lifting your own gym?
I'm in week 3 of my gym program, yeah.
And what's that involve?
Weights.
Yeah, cool. Are you still strong? Or are you losing it?
Losing it.
We train. We're so conditioned to train. I know you'd enjoy training the weights anyway.
Yeah.
But like once, we always train for a purpose. Like you want to be strong for rugby or fit for rugby.
Yeah.
Now you've finished.
Yeah.
My theory is like we finish our rugby careers, like we're 125 kids, something like that.
Yeah.
We're held together, almost like our joints are held together by our muscles, our ligaments, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
As soon as we stop, the body's just going to collapse and be in agony, whether it's neck, back, everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, you haven't turned into a Brabant, have you?
Obviously, no, thank you.
So what training are you doing?
Well, for the first couple of weeks, I struggled.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck this. Why am I going in the gym? Like, I used to love the gym, but there was always that purpose. There was always that goal of like, I need to get stronger and all this lot. And then when it didn't, and I was like, wasn't really going in it. And then I kept looking at myself in the mirror after the shower and going, fucking hell, every day. I was melting just a little bit more every day until this just like melted wheelie bin. We've all played with players that have had those sort of rigs, haven't we, Ben?
Yeah, we have, Joe.
Yeah, we have. And then I was like, oh God, I need to do something about this, because as soon as you get over 30 as well, it's doubly hard. And then
Well, apparently it's not doubly as hard. That's the problem.
That was well played.
But
So anyway,
now
lifting.
I started getting back into training because we were going through some old videos.
Yes.
Me and Daisy, a couple of years back, and she was, oh my God, look at this video of the kids. And blah, blah. And then I came in the video and she was like, oh wow, look how big your shoulders are in that. And I went, what do you mean? She was like, well, they're not that big anymore and stuff. I was like, fucking hell. And then she mentioned my neck. She was like, oh, your neck's gone a little bit flabby as well now.
I like what you've done there. Basically, like, look, you used to be so much fitter when you actually cared about your body, Joe. Maybe you should do that again. And then, it's working.
So, now I'm back in the gym.
Do you do any
I
CV
do
work?
like 3 or 4 times a week. There's no running whatsoever. I said I'm not going to run. What's the point of me running? I didn't run when I played.
Yeah.
Why do I need to start running? I don't like it.
Cycling? Any racket sports? Anything like that?
I am now a paddle player.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Pixie, she turns around, she tells people, Daddy doesn't play rugby anymore. He's a paddle player, as if I'm like a professional paddle. And she's like, where are you going tonight, Daddy? I'm like, I'm going to paddle. She's like, oh, nice. So, I play paddle once a week now, and I am fucking good at it.
I just imagine you stand in the middle and not moving much still, though.
That's not true. The idea is to get like a low serve on, and as soon as you serve into the corner, you rush to the net and it's a bit like windscreen wipers with your partners. You both rush there, hoping that they lob you, but you're recognising that it's going to lob you. Then you go back, and then you hold the court at the back with the tee and the lines, and then you play some long shots, and then you do a couple of slices, and it's just back and forth, back and forth. A little bit like that clip of Tony Adams, you know, when he's like, that's how I play my paddle.
Right. You have a partner?
Really love it. There's 4 of us.
Okay.
And it's my brother-in-law.
Yeah.
It's a friend of mine called Sean and a friend of mine called Matt.
Nice.
And me and Ben are the best. Ben's the best. He's really good. He's one of those wankers that's really good at everything.
Yeah.
You remember Ben Morgan? Like, he just picked up a dart and he could hit it all. In fact, no, Ben was more good at just pub games.
Yeah, very good at pub games. But Slady and Elliot, they're like annoyingly good at everything.
Yeah, just they pick it up, they're good at it. So that's the same with my brother-in-law, and he's really good. Whereas the other 2 are,
Getting there.
yeah, really bad. But we enjoy it. We get running, have a bit of a laugh. I love paddle. Didn't you play paddle in the World Cup?
Yeah, that was basically what I did.
You played more paddle than rugby in the World Cup.
I absolutely did. That was basically my role, along with many others, just to play paddle on a Friday.
Yeah, it was good.
So I'm over it now. I hear you've signed up for a property seminar on Tuesday. Is that right?
Where the fuck are you getting this from?
What are you building a portfolio? What are you up to?
I don't know. I just saw this advert.
you just want to get out of the day on a Tuesday, did you?
I saw this advert for a property masterclass.
Look at all this we've got to look forward to when we finally retire, can't we?
And I thought, I'm not doing anything on Tuesday. Can I get to Marlow? And I'm going to a property seminar for a couple of hours. Dave was like, what are you doing? I went, I don't know. Like, it's going to tell me about properties and maybe renting and all this. Like, she was like, that we haven't got any money for you to get go and buy a property and all that. I was like, it's just something to do. I'm just trying to grow my horizons. Well, basically what I'm doing is trying loads of different things and hoping one sticks. Throw enough shit at it, something's going to stick at some point, isn't it?
Skip. You got a skip at home?
What the flight? Yeah, I have got a skip.
But what do you get rid of? What's in the skip? Just all your kit.
Just all his Quinn's kit.
Like, no, that's online. That's online. I'm now selling all my kit, just so you know. It's marlerstash.com. If you want to buy some used shirts, shorts, training tops.
So what's in the skip?
My ceiling's in the skip.
Why?
Because it was leaking for months, and I was like, there's something wrong with that ceiling. And then I thought the best way to find out about what was wrong with it was to pull it down. So I got a couple of crowbars and took down the ceiling.
Fix the problem?
Well, no, I just found the problem.
Yeah. And
it was a leak. So then...
so now you can see from your
now
ensuite bathroom straight down into your kitchen dining room.
I can see. You got a plumber around, he fixed the thing, and now there's still a hole in the ceiling, but it's fun. What else have I'll be honest, I haven't done anything. I'm a stay-at-home... What?
You're doing the school run.
I do the school run. That's fun.
Is that like you're... Obviously, we're scheduled for, like, aren't we, from pretty much whole life. You know, on the schedule like the kids, and basically you work your day around taking them to school, breakfast, school, pick up, you know, that kind of stuff.
No, that's kind of what
Tuesdays.
I do.
Yeah.
What's Tuesdays?
Your property seminar.
Oh, yeah, but that's just one.
Oh, okay.
All right.
You might enjoy it. You might go...
Are you going to play bridge with the old people? Is that what you're going to do as well? Like,
no, bowls.
Bowls.
You
can't... You might not be able to bend over, though. So.
I'm more of a...
Yeah, you can't bend over.
Oh, I forgot you were the fucking specimens. Like... the old fucking Lapple Shepherd. Supple leopard over there.
But mate,
I prefer Patunk anyway.
The thing is, I never had any athleticism to lose. So like I've been monopaced at my whole career.
Yeah, same. Oh yeah, you're fucked. Your break I saw you make the other week
Didn't need sprint.
No, it wasn't. It's not about the sprint. It was the slowness of the dummy.
Yeah.
But also, who was the defender you did?
Isaiah Scott.
Thick.
Yeah. And big. He doesn't move well.
No.
I mean, I didn't move great, but he didn't move well.
No, he didn't move well. That's fine.
We spoke to producer Ryan from your podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Things people do.
Yeah. Oh, you got a name right this time.
Yeah, I did.
Put some respect on my podcast name, will you?
I will do, Will.
Without my podcast, your podcast wouldn't have existed.
But this is his quote. I've never known Joe to be so available. He messages me at least 10 times a day. I'm struggling to keep on top of all the emails he is sending. You've basically got so much free time now.
Well, no, I haven't, actually. Oh, if I go and get my diary, like yesterday I had weights in the morning in my garage, and then I had paddle in the evening. So that's 2 sessions.
And then some emails for things people do.
No, I had to then package up some of the clothes that I've sold. And then the day before, I was in London doing my own podcast. Day before that was off. I take Mondays off. Like Mondays aren't thing, so I can like really concentrate on the school run, taking Jasper to football stuff.
If you have a bank holiday, do you take Tuesday off?
If I've what?
If you have a bank holiday Monday, do you take Tuesday off?
It makes sense. You
Well,
should
yeah,
do
it
that.
does make sense.
Yeah,
Of
I'm
course,
just saying,
it'd be
yeah.
nice to actually
Continuing what you did in your
It'd be
career.
nice to actually experience bank holidays.
Yeah.
We don't experience that as rugby players. Oh, poor rugby players, they don't experience bank holidays, but they get paid loads of money to fucking run around a field. Shut up. Sorry, I just want, that's exactly the sort of Karen thing that someone will say. Oh, poor you, don't get bank holidays. Yeah, we don't. Poor us.
On that note, let's win some money for grassroots rugby.
Well, I can't wait to find out how.
Right, it's time to play THBs, Treble Bullseyes. Every month, we, along with our partners, the WOB Group, are giving money back to grassroots rugby. If you want to enter, use the link in the episode description. If you're already entered and you don't win today, you'll be automatically rolled over to next month's draw. Ben, who have we got as our celebrity dartist today?
We have the one and only, the hunchback of Notre Darts. He didn't bring his, I was hoping he'd bring his darts top, but he hasn't. But he's warming up. Genuinely, he's already damaged the ball. We need some poly filler after this.
On today's randomiser, we have 524 entries. Clubs to look out for are Western Rugby Club, who want money to refurbish the changing rooms. South Bristol Girls want money to help build a new clubhouse. Leighton Buzzard want new training kits. Whittam Rugby Club want new Gilbert rugby balls for training. Amber Valley want flags for the juniors, new balls and bibs for all age groups. Newark under-13s are going on tour to Lisbon, and Mansfield want to rewire the electrics and get new lights in the clubhouse. Let's find out who we're playing for. And the winners are Helston Rugby Football Club. Over to you, Ben.
You're playing for Helston Rugby Club.
Yeah, I am, yeah.
They want the money to refurbish the toilets. You'd know about that, given Cobham services that you often stopped at. What trap did you destroy over your time at Quinns?
Trap 7, as you're going on the right, is my go-to. But a few occasions I had to move to like trap 2 because trap 7 became somewhat blocked.
Every month, a different guest will throw darts into the in and around the board. Last month, our very own Ben Youngs won £460 for Castleford Rugby Club. Joe Marler, every point you score is worth £10 for Helston. You have 3 darts to get as many points as possible. Ben, do you want to explain the magic 4th golden dart?
You'll see, Joe, in your hand there, you have a golden dart. That is the bonus dart. That will double the money if you hit the bullseye. We call it the Bill bonus dart. You work it out, but essentially, no matter what's gone on in the past, everyone deserves a bonus. You like it? Well played.
Ben, are we classing the ball as the red or the red and green?
Red and green.
Joe, the hunchback of Notre Darts. Please commence throwing. 7. Triple 19. Right, so far, Joe, you are currently on £640. Please throw. That's £160. So, Joe, you've currently raised £800. Can you double it? Joe, last month, Ben raised £460. You, today, 800.
Hey, you're welcome, Helston RFC. And with that money, you can refurb those toilets, unblock those traps. And actually, if you get in touch with For the Love of Rugby and let us know when you're going to do that, why don't we go down and give them a helping hand?
Because you'll probably reblock them.
Yeah,
You can deliver a skip though.
I can deliver a skip. I'll come down and help you. I'll charge 800 quid though. Well done.
On that highlight, that's the end of the episode. Let's thank Joe.
Hunch, Joe, Retirement Joe, thanks for joining. Sheriff, thanks mate.
Thank you, Joe.
You're welcome. Anytime. Anything for you boys. What's dead may never die.